Okay, it looks like we are live now. Hello, boys and girls, cats and dogs. And let me see if I can adjust my wardrobe appropriately. Oh my God. I don't know. So, anyway, here we are. This is your Sunday reading. Last week, I believe I did not do one. I was having issues between StreamYard and the browser I was using. So I discovered I had to go back to my old browser just for the purposes of using StreamYard. I don't really use it for anything else, but for StreamYard, it's worth it because that is how I connect with everybody here. So for everybody here, I'm crocheting as we work. 2, 3, 4. So I am very, very thankful for everybody who is here. I'm also very thankful for people who watch the replay. And today is Sunday. Today is a Sunday reading. I've done this both as a recorded video and as a live stream. And the intention is to just bring beauty in the form of the written word into your life. And so I have something prepared for today, but I'll wait until we get more people here. And as usual with most of my live streams, we go off topic, and that's okay too. Be nice if I could tell that someone was here. It looks like there's no one still, but that's okay. I'll just keep going, and then people can catch me on the replay. Anyway, so what's going on? I will just go over my normal weekly schedule. Today is Sunday. I usually do a Sunday reading, which is going to be poetry. On Mondays, I do a conversation with another man in yarn, and I call it my Monday Men series. On Tuesdays, I do a Topic Tuesday, which is a live stream at 2 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesdays, I do another live stream, which I call a Wednesday Free-for-All, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern, immediately following Granny D. Thursdays, I usually don't post anything. Fridays, sometimes it's going to be a live stream, and sometimes it's going to be a pre-recorded video. It just varies. That's why I call it a formless Friday, because there's no plan to it. Saturdays, I usually don't post anything. And then Sundays, we're back at our Sunday readings, and here we are again. So I can't tell whether there's anybody here, but if you are, let me know that you're here, and tell me what you're working on. The standard icebreaker questions: what's on your hook, what's in your cup, blah blah woof woof, everything that is going on. So I believe, I know that other people are doing live streams at the same time or posting new videos at the same time. So, I'm not expecting a huge audience, but it would be nice to have 1 or 2 people here. So let me show you some of my recent finished objects. Okay, this is It looked better in the Instagram photo. This is a sort of, I've been talking about this for a long time. This is a sort of sweater, cardigan, car coat type thing that I've been working on for a while because winter is tough for me and I put things down and set them aside. But I finished this. All I need to do really is sew in the loose ends. I'm crazy about the yarn. Isn't it gorgeous? This is 100% wool. I've lost the label, of course, because I do that. But this was part of our beloved Carrie, the Yarny Elephant, when she was decluttering and destashing in preparation for her recent move. She sent me some stuff. So this yarn made this sweater, this little tam to go with it. It'll look better on a girl. And I'm also working on this lattice work wrap or scarf or wrap that will also be, and that will probably use up all of that particular yarn. It's really nice stuff. It's a little bit rough because it is 100% wool, and people have advised me on how to soften up the wool before I present it as a gift, because it will be a gift. The whole everything that I'm doing with it. It will all be a gift. I do not ever, ever, ever crochet for production or sale because that completely sucks. You know, I don't need people to insult me to my face about the value of my crochet work. You know, I already have low enough self-esteem. So what I do is I create patterns and I give away the stuff that I make after I have photographed the living hell out of it. What else do I have to report? Oh, I just, because I was bored, I just did this little hat the other, actually, just last night. That's, you know, your basic blue hat thing, the ribbing and the band around the top. Because this is on my blog actually, the ribbed hat pattern. And actually, recently, in my community tab, I did post a link to the blog post where I told you how to do this. It's not hard at all. It does take a little bit of yarn. But still, it's not hard at all. That's pretty much what I've been working on recently. This week has been a lot of sleep, really. And that's okay too. Sometimes you need it. But I'm also working on other things. I'm going to start a secondary channel that is not about yarn, but about other more commercial things. So while I might link to that channel, I'm not going to push it. And since I haven't posted anything to that new channel yet, there will not be a link here. But there will be eventually, perhaps on my Linktree page. Linktree has everything. All of my links, including my Ravelry patterns, my Teespring merchandise, that sort of thing. I also need to work more on the Teespring. I've been saying that. I have a few patterns I need to finish and publish. I did publish one recently, and I have another one that I'm going to publish soon. Well, actually, I have more than one that I'm going to publish soon. So, there we go. Anyway, since we're about 11 minutes into the hour, I'm just going to go ahead and read the poem that I have for today. Hold on a second. This is by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It's called Drinking Song. Inscription for an Antique Pitcher. Come, old friend, sit down and listen from the pitcher placed between us, how the waters laugh and glisten in the head of old Silenus. Old Silenus, bloated, drunken, led by his inebriate satyrs, on his breast his head is sunken, vacantly he leers and chatters. Fawns with youthful Bacchus follow, ivy crowns that brow supernal as the forehead of Apollo, and possessing youth eternal. Round about him, fair Bacchantes, bearing cymbals, flute, and tierces, wild from Anaxian groves, or Xantes vineyards, sing delirious verses. Thus he won through all the nations bloodless victories, and the farmer bore as trophies and oblations vines for banners, plows for armor. Judged by no o'erzealous rigor, much this mystic throng expresses. Bacchus was the type of vigor, and Silenus of excesses. These are ancient ethnic revels of a faith long since forsaken. Now the satyrs, changed to devils, frighten mortals, wine or taken. Now to rivulets from the mountains point the rods of fortune tellers. Youth perpetual dwells in fountains, not in flasks and casks and cellars. Claudius, though he sang of flagons and huge tankards filled with Rhenish, from that fiery blood of dragons never would his own replenish. Even ready, though he chaunted Bacchus in the Tuscan valleys, never drank the wine he vaunted in his dithyrambic sallies. Then the water filled the pitcher, wreathed about with classic fables. Near Falernian threw a richer light upon Lucullus' tables. Come, old friend, sit down and listen as it passes thus between us, how its wavelets laugh and glisten in the head of old Silenus. There is a lot of mythological reference there, an historical reference there. I will link the actual poem in the description. And then from there, if you are interested, you can find the terms that are confusing. A lot of them are confusing to me. So, and there we go. And it's funny. I had one person, it appeared, in attendance when I started the poem, and now I have none. It still says 0 here. But that's okay. I can live with that. I'm used to being neglected. That's the story of my life. Oh, hey, Lisa. Did you just come in? As I was saying, yeah, just a minute ago, I recited the poem. I read the poem, really. Um, it has a lot of mythic imagery and a lot of mythic reference in it. So, what I'm going to do is post a link to the poem itself when the description when this video is live for replay or is available for replay. I'll probably read it again before we're done. Um, uh, but I think that I think it's fun. I think the poem itself is fun. But again, there's a lot of reference to mythic figures that people might have to look up. Um, hold on a second. The name of the poem is Drinking Song and is by Mr. Longfellow. You might have heard of Mr. Longfellow, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. You know, he's done a few other nice things. So all of my poems come from a website which is called Public Domain Poetry. I take pains to make sure that everything is in the public domain because I don't want to run into any copyright issues, which could potentially happen. I know people who have run into issues because of music that might have been incidentally playing in the background as they were recording or something like that, or even music that they had paid to use, um, but YouTube did not recognize that they had paid to use the music. I don't need that kind of trouble. I've got enough trouble already. So, why? What else is going on, people? So, I was showing earlier some things I had done recently. Okay. I did a few things in these colors, the colors of the Ukraine flag. I have no Eastern European connections aside from a few friends who came from there. In fact, one of my dearest former colleagues, whom I would love to see again, had come from the Ukraine. But aside from that, I don't have a personal connection to the Ukraine, but I did create this because of what's going on. Hey, RL. What else? And I did also show this, very simple ribbed hat. I have a pattern for a ribbed hat on my blog, which is beardedyarndudes.blogspot.com. And sooner or later, Nightbot will post the link to that. I did this very simple tam/beret to go with this a little bit less simple cardigan car coat type sweater. I love this yarn. And right now I'm also working on a scarf to use up the last of this yarn. It'll be a scarf or a wrap. And then what else is going on? I have a few other things going on, a few design things going on. And I did mention I'm working on a secondary channel that is not yarn related, but more commercial related. Just trying to bring in some income because I'm sort of poor. So that's the story there. What else is going on? So I was just watching Reggie, Yarniversity. She was having a really, really nice live stream with photos from fashion shows. Hey, Suar. Yeah, Reggie was just having photos from fashion shows that featured crochet creations. A lot of them were not especially practical, but some of them could be adapted to become something practical, I think. Um, but more often than not, I'll create when I create something, it's going to be for men. I do men's sweaters, scarves, and hats, that sort of thing. I do shawls. I do a lot of shawls, actually. Which, of course, well, honestly, a lot of my shawls that work on the increase, if you only have one hank of a particular yarn, it'll make a nice like scarf or neck wrap or cowl, whatever you want to call it. But if you have enough of the yarn, it'll make a nice shawl. Oh, hey, not the end. I'm glad you were here. Thanks for stopping by. So, yeah, that's my story. So this is what I'm doing right now. It's a very, very basic lattice work. It's going to be well, depending upon how much yarn I have, it's going to be a wrap or a large scarf. But it's going to go with this hat and the other sweater that I showed you because the yarn is all the same. It's a very nice 100% wool yarn that I got from our beloved Carrie, the Yarny elephant, when she was destashing in preparation for her recent move. So I got a bunch of really nice yarn from her. And that was very kind. I just, paid for the postage, which wasn't all that much. Postage, actually, oh, excuse me. Postage can be a pain in various regions. Yeah. In fact, that's one reason I'm not doing any more giveaways because of postage. Another reason is that I'm so far behind on other things I've promised people, either as giveaway prizes or other sorts of gifts. And I have somehow lost my lists. That's another thing. Actually, on my community tab, I did make an announcement about that, where if I owe you something, either as a giveaway prize or as some sort of a gift, please contact me because I have lost my lists. They're probably somewhere in this room, but by the time I find them, You know, it could be years. Who knows? So, well, Lisa, Lisa, let's talk offline about what I owe you. Um, because I actually I owe a lot of people a lot of things. So that's why I'm just not going to do it anymore because I just can't keep up with it. I can't do giveaways responsibly like a grown-up person. So I'm just not going to. I'm going to do my best to fulfill the obligations I have already um, made, but um, I'm not going to do any more giveaways. That's all there is to it. Lisa, was it to? Oh, hey, Rita. Uh, Lisa, was it to you? I was going to send those squares so that you could just decide what to create out of them. 'Cause I can never remember anything. You know, we're lucky I can remember my name. Okay, okay. And no, I do have your address, and I will send them out. I'll try to do it this week. In fact, I have a box for it. Actually, I have a box for it because um I received an Amazon order this week, so I have a very nice box for what I'm going to send to you. And I'll probably send you some extra things as well, just for being patient. Um, Make sure that you send me pictures when you have it all completed. So, what else is going on, people? So, I want to remind everybody at 3 o'clock, we go and visit Granny D. She's live at 3 on Saturdays and Sundays. Usually on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, she's live at 5. But on Saturdays and Sundays, she's on at 3. So as soon as I finish this row, I will post the link to Granny D. Mhm. Um, Lisa, do you mean the Facebook group or the Facebook page? If you're a member of the group, you should be able to post a picture. The page is really more about news. The group is about community. Oh, what have I got in my eye? Feels like ugh, very scratchy. Whoa. So, actually, some of you were telling me ways to soften up the wool I've been working with um, when I turn it into a garment. Okay. In a moment, you will see the link to Granny D. We're going there at 3 o'clock. And just now, you see the Nightbot also showed you the link to my Ravelry page, where I have a bunch of patterns, and I'm going to put some more up. I had a numeric goal, and I'm finding that numeric goals don't work for me, because if I don't meet them even on an incremental level, I just beat myself up, and then I go into this like downward spiral, and it's not pretty at all. But I do have more patterns that I will publish on Ravelry, and things that I'm working on now that I will publish on Ravelry. What else is going on? Yes, of course, Nightbot reminds you to hit the subscribe and the thumbs up and all of that stuff. As I often say, all the standard YouTube crap. So it would be nice to have a little bit of interaction if anybody wants to, comment in the chat. Okay, I just posted the link if anybody wants to join me up here. This shirt just doesn't sit right on me, does it? Anyway, I guess that's where we are. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to this poem. I'm going to read the poem again. This is by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It's called Drinking Song, Inscription for an Antique Pitcher. Come, old friend, sit down and listen from the pitcher placed between us, how the waters laugh and glisten in the head of old Silenus. Old Silenus, bloated, drunken, led by his inebriate satyrs, on his breast his head is sunken, vacantly he leers and chatters. Fawns with youthful Bacchus follow, ivy crowns that brow supernal as the forehead of Apollo, and possessing youth eternal. Round about him fair Bacchantes, bearing cymbals, flutes, and tierces, wild from Naxian groves, or Xantes vineyards, sing delirious verses. Thus he won through all the nations bloodless victories, and the farmer bore as trophies and oblations vines for banners, plows for armor. Judged by no o'erzealous rigor, much this mystic throng expresses. Bacchus was the type of figure, and Silenus of excesses. These are ancient ethnic revels of a faith long since forsaken. Now the satyrs, changed to devils, frighten mortals, wine o'ertaken. Now the rivulets from mountains point the rods of fortune tellers. Youth perpetual dwells in fountains, not in flasks and casks and cellars. Claudius, though he sang of flagons and huge tankards filled with Rhenish, from that fiery blood of dragons never would his own replenish. Even ready, though he chaunted Bacchus in the Tuscan valleys, never drank the wine he vaunted in his dithyrambic sallies. Then the water filled the pitcher, wreathed about with classic fables, ne'er Falernian threw a richer light upon Lucullus' tables. Come, old friend, sit down and listen as it passes thus between us. How its wavelets laugh and glisten in the head of old Silenus. I will have a link to that poem in the description when it goes live as a replay. It has a lot of references to mythology that most of us don't really know nowadays. Hey, Danine. So I think that it would be useful to just look at it and look up all the references. Google is your friend. Wikipedia as well. Not if you're writing a paper for school, but you know, you can find a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff I want to know just from doing that. I would remind you on my community tab, I have created a series, a daily series of, your moment of culture for today. It's usually a brief recording, not always terribly brief, sometimes a little, some of them are longer than others, where I'm just sharing all different kinds of music, sharing the spoken word, I'm sharing drama and filmmaking, I'm sharing visual art. So, just visit those at your leisure. They will be there for a long, long time. Yes, Lisa, that's what it's called. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, excuse me. I think I need a nap, except I promised my sister I'd go grocery shopping with her when I was done with this. This beard actually needs a trim, too. That looks awful. So, yes, I would ask people to visit my community tab regularly. I do sometimes um, for my Monday men, sometimes I do reruns if I don't have something prepared. That's what's happening tomorrow. I'm doing a rerun. And the link to the original video, rather than just creating an entirely new video and uploading it and going to all of that trouble, I just, on the community tab, I post a link to the original video. And I've done enough now that I can do reruns. I would welcome your ideas about other men in yarn I could talk to for that series. I love doing it. It's my favorite thing to do on this channel. And I have met some of the most wonderful, wonderful people that way. So what's going on here? Okay. Lisa, I hope you have success in finding the Facebook group. I'm not on Facebook right now, so I can't really tell what's going on. But, and honestly, I have two different browsers open. All of my technical issues in the past week had to do with a browser that I was using, which for some reason is no longer, even though I had no issue with it for quite some time, now it appears to be no longer compatible with StreamYard. So I had to go back to the old browser, the one that made me want to throw the computer through the window. So I'm only using it for a very, very few things, including StreamYard. So what else is going on? There's my link tree. Nightbot just gave you my link tree link where you have a list of everything. All of my blogs, my Ravelry page, my Teespring merch page, which I need to work on, my everything really. Okay, anyway. Well, I think that we've been on long enough. I want to thank everybody who has been here and who has joined just in the past few moments. As always, I would say like, comment, share, subscribe, all the standard YouTube crap, and keep coming back. And thank you to everybody. Everybody who's here live, everybody who watches me on the replay. So because I have run out of things to say, I'm going to call it a day. But I want to thank everybody who's here, and do not forget to go to see Granny D at 3 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. And thank you all so much. Bye-bye now.